Welcome on in, Roll Gang, to another episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. I'm Processor Sky here with a fresh one here. A fresh week, a fresh episode, and let's get on into this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. How are you doing this morning? To see you guys. I have collected from some super philosophical individuals. Excited to get on into them with you guys this morning. So basically, it's Motivational Monday because this week we're just going to have to go get after it and tackle this baby, because if we don't, then no one else is going to do it. So I appreciate truly everybody tapping in here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You guys are all the shit. I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in. But if I could just ask one quick favor, if you're on Facebook, if you could just hit that share now to public button. Or if you're on Twitter, that magical retweet button. It's a pretty magical button because we actually do believe that sharing is caring. And caring is also sharing. Yo, shout out Herm. What's tuning in on Instagram? Appreciate you. So, we have a brand new episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake Motivational Monday. And this episode is, as always, brought to you by the Rolling Spoon, the most efficient way to procure your Candy Bee. This all-in-one efficient multi-tool will help you seal a deal and roll a dime every time. So make sure you grab your spoon, you grab some herb, and let's get on into this wake and bake. So, this morning, I have a super special shout-out, major shout-out, Zach Brangman, the king of content for Medicine and Planet 13, hooked me up with some White Valley OG that I get to try on the show here this morning, and I am super excited about it. And yeah, that's just basically what we like to do here on the Weekday Wake and Bake. Just got some fine herb, got a grinder and a spoon. We're going to roll some up and then smoke it and talk about some cannabis content. Shout out Savioli 112898. Yeah, he's OG. Oh, this looks so good, you guys. I am really, really pumped to get smoking on this baby. Those two nugs. Oh, yeah. So basically, this is what we like to do here. Every weekday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time, you guys will see right here on this page, on the Rolling Spoon pages, all across the social medias, and we go live to smoke weed every morning, 8 a.m. sharp. And I am super excited about this one. This is much better weed than I normally smoke here on the Wake and Bake. Yeah, we definitely buy one, my man. They're basically all for free. They're promotional good. What's up, Savioli 112898? Appreciate you. Oh, we lost our light. Sorry, Roll Gang. What the heck? We don't need any extra light. But, so basically, this White Valley OG is definitely going to give us a boost for the week. It has a really, really unique terpene in it that I hadn't heard of before called... Oh, I'm getting it mixed up. This says limonene, caryophyllene, and linalool. So, I'm really excited. It's going to be like a positivity boosting vibes, 100%. Yeah, Yo, Savioli, good call. I do have to play music, but I can't for the interference. I'd have to use the streaming platform to play music so that it goes through audio properly. I'll figure it out, though. I appreciate that piece of advice, Savioli. Huge shout out. I'm just really excited to get smoking on this joint. I'm in dire need. I'm in dire need this morning. I think these motivational quotes will set us on the right path for the week. You know what I mean, Roll Gang? That's what I'm hoping. We just hope that we can be super motivated and energetic throughout our interactions. Boom. So we have a dime, just like every other time. And now it's time to spark. Boom, use the poker. We got the medicine spoon along with the medicine herb. And yeah, let's get on into this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. Spark up here. First motivational quote. This one coming from Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher. And he says, wow, well, I say this herb is absolute fire. Holy shit. But anyway, Lao Tzu says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So this is such a good metaphor for the world because as a life, we're really traveling 1,000 miles. You know what I mean? Our whole entire life is really long. It feels really long until it's not, you know? And the journey from point A to point B always starts with the first notch. And we have to make sure that we take really manageable bites of the pie, if you will, so that we can continue to move forward at a proper rate. It's really easy to focus on the 1,000-mile journey before you take the very first step. So like I Lao Tzu because it exemplifies patience and making sure that you take one step at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't put the cart before the horse. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step that starts it. So just be the enzyme to your reaction and really motivate yourself to make that first action. Because once you got some motivation and momentum going, then it's a lot easier after that. So Lao Tzu says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And this is not even an opinion, guys. Like, this is just 100% facts. There's always step one. So major shout out Lao Tzu for coming out with a great motivational quote. The next one coming from ancient philosopher Socrates. Socrates, one of my absolute all-time favorite philosophers. He really, really comes up with some heady shit. So let's see what he came up with for this show here, this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. Socrates says, reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. And this is just an absolute, it's a legendary, because truly your vibe occurs in your mind and the way that you live your life. So basically, we can change our mind to manipulate our reality. And this is like an absolute superpower. And Socrates really shines a light on it here in this quote. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. So guys, think about what it is that you want. Think about what goals that you're trying to achieve, and then change your mind so that you can have the right chemistry to go and attack these goals. And really just step by step, like Lao Tzu says, a single step in the right direction is of utmost importance. So we just got to figure out what it is that we want and then change our mind to support that. Socrates, an absolute genius. So we have two more on this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. The next one is from Aristotle, another legendary philosopher, legendary thinker. But before we get on into this quote, this episode is indeed brought to you by this cannabis multi-tool, the Rolling Spoon. It's a branded piece of medical-grade plastic that is meant to help you roll a dime every time, pack your bowl, de-bowl it, however you utilize your herb, the Rolling Spoon is there to help. So, really appreciate everybody tuning in. Yo, shout out Mercedington tapping into the show. Really great to see you this morning. Thank you for the comment. But anyways, on to this Aristotle quote on this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. So Aristotle says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit." So Aristotle is claiming that in order for us to be excellent, we must formulate good habits. We are not what we singularly do. We are what we repeatedly do. Repeatedly to the point that we get so good at it. Like rolling joints or singing songs or doing content or whatever you guys do. Repeatedly do it and make sure that you're calculating what you repeatedly do, because what you do repeatedly is what you are. And excellence is not an act, but a habit. So we have to formulate really good habits in order to lead a valuable life. We define that, so we get to pick our habits, but make sure you guys are picking ones that make you proud. And I will too. I will do my best as well. So the last quote here on this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake coming in from Helen Keller. And she says, "Optimism is the faith that leads us to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." So just make sure that you have a positive outlook on your future. If you don't know your goal, what you're trying to reach to, then take your time and try to find one. You know what I mean? There's no rush, and just be optimistic. Make sure that you take one step at a time, like Lao Tzu says, and Helen Keller says, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. So just make sure you're hopeful and confident towards what you want to achieve today and get after it, because it is indeed Motivational Monday.